Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Game Development Log video diary, and this week I've been integrating the new rendering engine into the game. So all of the new features of the rendering engine that I showed off last week are now in the game, like the more impressive terrain structures, the long winding pathways, and the glowing effect on the house's windows at night. But most importantly, the new engine allowed me to increase the render distance to double the distance that it was before, so you can now see nice and far into the distance. I also managed to further improve the lighting calculations since last time, and you can see the huge improvement to the lighting on the player's armor here. It's now so much smoother than it was before, and it all just looks very lovely. On a similar topic, the DayNight Cycle got a bit of a revamp this week. It now looks a bit more pleasing to the eye, with lots of pretty colours and stuff going on, especially at sunrise and sunset. I actually completely redid the system that controls this cycle. The old system used equations of time to calculate the colour of the sky and the fog and the light intensity, but now I've switched this for a keyframe approach so that I can set the colour of the sky and the light intensity at certain times of the day, and then the system interpolates between these values for all the other times. And I did this in preparation for next week's update, when I will finally be adding a skybox into the game. There's also one other feature that I've added this week, and if I go ahead and unequip this helmet, you can see that on the player's head is something that vaguely resembles hair. I've only made one hairstyle so far, but the colour is completely customizable, and at the moment the colour is just randomized, but obviously in the future I'll allow the player to choose the colour and the style of their hair. Also, when helmets completely cover the hair like this, the hair isn't rendered to stop it clipping through the helmet, but for other hats like this Santa's hat here, the hair should be visible and so is still rendered. Another quick little thing that I added, which is mainly a feature for me to use, is this Debug Interface that now appears when I press F3, and this currently shows the in-game time and the average time that it takes to render each frame. But I'll be using this much more in the future for other debugging info. And finally this week, I've begun thinking about creating the world in which the game is based. I do actually already have this very rough map of how I want the world to look, which some of you may have already seen. I posted it a while back on my IndieDB page, which you can check out. A link to that will be in the description below. But this little yellow town here is probably what this area here will eventually become. And that is it for this week. Thanks a lot for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. Next time I'm going to be adding the skybox as I mentioned, and that video will be out in 2 weeks' time. And after that I'll be going on to add some very exciting features such as water, particle effects and sound. In other news, after next week I'm going to be working pretty much full time on this game, and so these videos will hopefully be a weekly feature once again. I'm also going to be starting a tutorial series in the next few weeks, so do keep an eye out for that as well. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching this video. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Have a delightful week, and I will see you all next time.